Welcome. This session is powered by Global Talent Solution, supported by leaders of all nations, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, Helping Hand Foundation, Explore London, Global International Alliance, Ladies of All Nation, Global Foundation, RM Infinite and Dream Bigger. Today's host is Dr. Jaya Sajnani, and the guests are Darryl, Horton and Michael Mints. Enjoy the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today with us on our 5th episode of Business Success Strategy Program. Today's session is about strategic networking. And here, what you're going to learn? You're going to learn how to build a relationship for business advancement. Yes, we are going to talk about that how strategic networking is going to help you to advance your business. Myself, Dr. Jaya Sajnani, I'm a mom, entrepreneur, author, founder, and CEO of YG Travel, Explore London, Helping Hand Foundation, and co-author, co-founder of Global Talent Solution Hub. Yes, GTS. GTS is a non-profit organization with a vision to paying the work for a future where talent knows no boundaries. Yes, you heard the right. We are dedicated to creating an environment where talent has no boundaries, regardless you belong to which race, gender, ethnicity, or country. We are creating a platform where you don't have to fly or reach somewhere and then learn. We can learn right here, wherever you are. So, before I start today's session, I would like to express my gratitude to the all supporter. Without them, this session would not be possible. So our very first supporter is Loani, which is the Leaders of All Nation International, founded by Professor Dr. Caroline Makaka. The another one is GSFE, Global Society for Female Entrepreneur, founded by Lady Dr. Robbie Motor from USA, GIA, Global International Alliances, USA, founded by again Lady Dr. Lenora Peterson Wimbledon. Dr. Randy Ward is also one of our supporters who has helped us to bring this whole session together. And her institute is, don't forget, Dream Big Institute, founded in USA, and RM Infinitive. Yes, we have the new supporter here for today's session is the Speakers Are Leaders and founded by Lily and Harry. So yes, we are back to our session today for strategic networking. Before I start this program, please make sure you mute yourself until and unless we ask you to unmute. And now, without a further ado, we are going to invite our first speaker of the day today is Dr. Darryl Horton. Yes, welcome, Darryl. He has been honored as a doctorate degree recently, as a doctorate in honorary doctorate degree in humanitarian in California last week, where I was there, evidence, an amazing work by Darryl. So let me talk about the Darryl. Darryl Horton, aka the Walking Miracle. Yes, he's a powerhouse in the global empowerment, promoting healthy living and whole food nutrition. Yes, we heard about today's world, right? We all about healthy living today, healthy food. But how? That Darryl is going to talk to us more about it. Then, with over 5 years of the media experience, Darryl recognized as a top creator by Hoinser Media Group. As a life and a business relationship specialized, Darryl cultivates growth and meaningful connections. And that's what we have valuable speaker here today to talk about strategic networking. Darryl is a distinguished member of the inaugural communication and the global leader at the Brave Inspires Brave. Wow. And a contributor to the Hayden Book 2023. Currently, Darryl serves as a brand ambassador for ChatBridge Connect, inspiring others to unlock their potential and live fulfilling lives. So welcome, Darryl.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm honored to be a guest on your podcast.
Thank you so much, Darryl. So today's session, as we know, that is about the networking and how the strategic networking helps to advance the business. Before we go jump on the topic, our audience definitely would like to know, Darryl, about you, about your what currently you're doing, what's your aspiration, and how have you reached to that position by using your networking and strategic networking connections to the business. Let's talk about it. So, floor is yours.
Well, for me, uh, I I was brought up in a military family, and unbeknownst to me, I was learning from my father, even though I was pushing against him. He used to always tell me that your confidence is going to be mistaken for cockiness, and I was like, I don't know any other way to be. And then one of the things that he told me that has stuck with me my entire life is let your work speak louder than your material possessions. So bouncing off of that, everything bounces off of that.
Mhm.
I've been telling people and friends and family for years that money is not my driver. My driver is relationships.
That's very interesting, and especially today's era where the whole world is controlled by economics, right? End of the day, for any business to survive, you do need the finance. You need that finance rolling in your business rather than just having it to go and just developing on relationships, but not using those contexts to the business advancement purpose. What's your thought about this?
I used to think that way.
Okay.
I really did. I used to think that way. And I thought the more hours I put in, the better it's going to be. And then I was standing at the door one day, and my niece, who was 9 years old at the time, looked at me and said, "Uncle Darryl, you're never here for anything. When is that going to change?"
Oh dear, I can understand. Wow. That's I have burning question, Darryl, but before I go, I just want to let audience know that we have a Michael Mints here. Hello, Michael. Thank you very much for coming. Um, yes, I think you are muted. Just to let audience know that Michael Mints is here, and we will have his way of telling us as well strategic networking, but we will be doing it after Darryl. So I want to hear
All
first
right.
Darryl's view and summarize those views, and then we're going to go to the Michael Mint and hear the valuable experience Michael brings it to this stage. And we're going to hear Michael. For that time, please sit back. Don't go anywhere. We want you here. Our audience is here for you only. So please wait for us as well. Thank you. So, Darryl, talk me about this now. That when you say that there was a point where you realized that, yes, money is important. However, building relationship is more important for you. Why that turning point came? What has happened?
Well, it happened. It really started to happen when I had my health crises, and everything that I knew, business, personal life, and everything, literally changed overnight. Because it, everything that I used to be able to do, I couldn't do anymore.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it was either change the way I think about things or perish, because I had to come to the realization that, no, you can't do that, but your brain still works. You can still communicate with people. You can still guide people. You can still do that part. So it was interesting because I was having lunch with one of my mentors, and she says, "You need to come to Utah." And I was like, "Okay, what am I going to Utah for?" She says, "We're having a relationship marketing summit."
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay. She says, "Don't worry about it. I already bought your ticket."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm going." So when I get there, I I realize that not only is she one of the top people in the company, but she introduces me to the number one earner in the company and the CEO.
Wow. And that all happened because you had to go through that journey?
Exactly.
Hmm.
So, and it doesn't take long. I mean, the 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 convention is 2 days. Within a half an hour of being in the convention center,
Mm-hmm.
like, I got it. Let's go. And I literally started sending cards.
Hmm.
I actually made a social media post, and this was around the time that COVID hit. I
Yeah.
made a social media post that said literally, "If you want me to send you a card, I need your physical address." Within 2 weeks, I had 600 addresses,
Wow.
and I've been sending cards ever since. And people ask me every day, "Well, what does sending cards have to do with your business?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I tell them every day the same thing. I've sent almost 4,000 cards. Not a one of them have had to do with business,
Mm-hmm.
but yet I have thriving businesses
Yeah.
because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Wow. That is a fantastic line you have mentioned. And being a business person, Darryl, I fully understand um, that's somewhere traditional way we used to work before the AI kicked in, right? Where we connected people for a life, right? Not just hi, hello, and we had a 5,000, 7,000 followers on social media, but we hardly know each other, right? But when it
Exactly.
comes to the business world, it is very important that you know your customer, you know your supplier even by heart, not just because they send you this product. Knowing their product list is very important, of course, but
Mhm.
knowing them and what made them to sell this product to you or demand that service from you is actually a very valuable connection and a very valuable point you have mentioned. Wow, Daryl,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
good.
Because people don't realize that the only reason you have a successful business is because of people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not showing your appreciation and gratitude to those people that are supporting your business, you won't have one.
I agree. Yes. Um, isn't it, Daryl, then very difficult that when we are in the AI world, we hardly know people by face to face or meeting? Um, how we translate or transfer this ethos of the business, having that long connections, long life connection, or sustainable networking in the AI world? How do we use the AI to do such things to make it benefit to us as a business?
Well, the way I look at it, I try to personally connect with everybody that I talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
Mm-hmm.
it's somewhere within the first 2 3 weeks of
Yeah.
talking to somebody. I'm gonna ask them for their mailing address,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna go do my research And oh, okay, they have kids, they have a dog, they have this, they have kids, they have birthdays, they have a wife, so they have an anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody starts getting cards.
Hmm.
And pretty soon I've gone from their head to their heart.
As a business person, the burning question when I hear this, and to be very honest, as you know, doing business is not the easy job. For the people who are watching this live show, they must reconnect with me that every smallest cost is
Mhm,
affecting to the profit margin. And
mhm.
while you could be earning 60 70K package by working somewhere in a corporate world, but doing business, you might end up having only 30 40K at the beginning, and with that having a long hours to do. So the approach you have mentioned, that sending the you send the cards personally to people, I'm sure it does come with some cost. How do you justify that cost to your business?
The cost to my business for sending cards is only $100 a month.
Okay, that sounds good for you when you say only $100 per month. Um, I guess you must be having that a workaround, that how do you manage to keep that cost so low? If I were to post any cards or the personalized items to my customers or supplier as a gratitude or just a connecting, I'm sure being not in the marketing business, there's an additional cost for me to connect to the marketing agencies, right? Is that the
No,
reason why you involve the marketing in your business?
I use the cards because it's a set cost and
Mm-hmm.
I can send cards all over the world.
Okay.
So all the postage and everything is covered.
Mm-hmm. That's
And they've since changed the packages to to gear more towards entrepreneurs.
mm-hmm.
But I can I holidays between Christmas and Thanksgiving, I literally sent 1,200 cards.
Wow. Oh, that's a very good number, Daryl. Um, okay, knowing that how the world is changing to the environment and the betterment of things,
Hmm.
not challenging you, but just a burning question again, one more time in my head, saying that does that waste of paper, because when you send 1,200 cards instead of sending e-cards, does this affect our environment, and how do you support them, or as your organization support the environment by even sending those cards which may be somewhere cutting down the trees, because creating paper
Hmm.
itself has the impact? How do you justify yourself?
We have our. I mean, I know the company has its organizations and causes that it contributes to,
Mhm.
but when you think about the impact of sending a card to somebody and their reaction to that card, because
Mhm.
I've had people message me back and call me and tell me that it's the only card they've gotten for their birthday.
Wow. Okay. I can definitely relate because I'm still a millennia. I haven't gone to that age group, but when I see a youngster today's world, and when they are creating the business, they are starting up the business, it is very difficult to cost cutting to ensure, and the speedy, the fast lifestyle. It is very difficult for us as a business owner to keep in that touch or the relationship with everyone and making sure we work together. So what kind of tips you would like to give it to those people who who really want to bring all the connections together. However, they're struggling to manage it.
That's very challenging. I will admit that's very challenging. And a lot of times I get, well, I don't have time. People have time and make time for what they want to do. So if you want to go out and make it and put a smile on somebody's face, then you're going to do it.
I 100% agree.
It's that simple. It's that simple. You know, I talk to people all the time, and they're like, "Well, that's my best friend." Oh, really? When's the last time you talked to them? Well, it's been 6 months. Well, they can't be that good a friend if it's been 6 months. So,
wow. Okay, we just been told off by system that our times is up, but before that, I would like to give you 1 minute to summarize, and if you want to share your wisdom of the words about the strategic networking and how by doing these little costs actually impact your business advancement.
sure. Well, the bottom line is, you know, you're going to have people that are, you know, they're going to be selling cars, they're going to be selling whatever they're selling. But the thing that we need to realize is we need to be top of mind, because regardless of what you're selling, nobody's going to buy it until they're ready to buy it. You can't sell it to them unless they're ready to buy it. So, you know, whether you market it to them 100 times, whether you market it to them 5 times, when they're ready to buy it, they're going to buy it. If they're not ready, and you're going to make the mistake of putting them on the sideline because, oh, well, they didn't buy. Well, 6 months down the line, they may be ready to buy. But are you still doing the same thing that you were doing when they weren't ready to buy? Because they're going to find somebody that's got what they want. So you got to stick and stay. And you got to build relationships, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you build relationships, you can always introduce it. But if you don't build relationships, you're always going to be selling.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Darryl. Thank you for wisdom of words. Don't go anywhere. We have lots of questions at the end of the event. But I just want to let everyone know that we have 300 plus live viewers who are watching you guys, sharing your knowledge and experience on strategic networking. Now, everyone is watching us live. Please kindly leave the comment on the Facebook, wherever you're watching it. Drop a line, say hello to Dr. Darryl and Mr. Michael Mints. They are here to share the knowledge on experience, years of experience in the networking, how to build the relationship to advancement of your business. So please don't forget to drop a line about your question as well. And at the end of session, we will come back to you and we will ask our speakers from your whatever questions you have. So this is now time to invite our second speaker. He's a very well known in our LinkedIn media. I have met him many times in virtually. I have come across many of his sessions online. So without further ado, let's welcome Michael Mints.
Let me Hello, how is everybody? It's so nice to be here. It's nice to talk with you.
Lovely, Michael. Let me tell audience your little bit about yourself. So, so Michael Mints is committed to empowering holistic success. He focuses on career, finance, mindset, relationship, health, and happiness to help people reach their full potential. Oh my God, there is no other area which you haven't touched. Everything has been covered here. Michael is a family is crucial to Michael. He is a happy married with 4 daughters and a value faith with a meaningful connection. What an amazing principles and ethos of the life. Michael is passionate about helping others define success and achieve actionable goals. His mission to transform lives worldwide. Wow. Michael has taught speaking and mentoring. He aims to foster genuine, lasting success with all aspects of life. Wonderful. Welcome, Michael. The floor is yours, and audience is
Thank you.
eagerly
Thank
waiting
you.
to hear you out.
That sounds so much better when you read it than when I say it. You know, I love something Dr. Horton said, and I want to repeat it. And I know that it's somewhat of a cliche today, that people don't know how much you care until they know that you care about them. I find that one of the things that happens now, because I love social media, all platforms. I like to engage in all platforms. I don't let my age get in the way of me joining in on every social platform I can jump into. But here's what I'm finding. I'm finding that what our belief now is that because I'm on a social media platform, that I'm connecting with thousands of people. And I want to make sure that we're very careful in not believing and not confusing followers with connection, because they don't equal the same. Because we have thousands and thousands of followers doesn't mean that we've connected with anyone other than we've traded a comment or two. And I want to make sure that we clarify that until such time as we drill down on a little bit of a deeper level with our connections, with our networking, and it really doesn't become strategic networking, I believe, until we truly begin to drill down on a deeper level and start to understand people. I find that one of the things people want the most today, right, is to be understood. They want someone else to care enough to understand. So here's the first thing I want to talk about. I want to make sure that I think this is magical, that we are actually one connection away from our next success. We're actually one connection away from our next goal, from my next job, from finding the perfect person, to meeting my next best friend, to making my next $1 million. We're always just one connection away. But in spite of that, I find that our tendency is to silo ourselves a little bit behind the veil of social media. And we lure ourselves into this false belief that because I'm so engaged on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, that I have some real, true, meaningful connections. And that's just not true. That's just not true. And I say, so Mike, how do you drill down? How do you create connections? I want to make sure that I share that in the last 4 years I've been on LinkedIn, 4 of my closest friends in life, in life, I've now met on LinkedIn and have a relationship with them. I've never met them in person, but they know my story. They know my failures. They know where life has gone wrong. I've shared with them. We've encouraged each other. A couple of them walked me through a surgery. I think just because we meet people on LinkedIn or any other social media platform, that doesn't mean that we can't also drill down on a deeper level and have some real meaningful connections. And I'm learning and have learned that those are the connections that changed my life. Those are the connections that bring me to the next level in my business or in the next level of my relationships. So I just wanted to put that out there, that please don't confuse followers with real, true connections. Here's the second thing I want to talk about for a minute. There's this thing about proactive listening that I hear a lot of people talking about, right? Proactive listening. And usually how you can tell if you're a great proactive listener is this. When people are talking or when you're communicating with people, when they're answering a question you've asked, are you listening to the words they're saying, or are you forming the next sentence in your mind while they're talking. Because if we're forming the next sentence in our mind that I want to say, oh, he reminded me of something. Oh, she said something that sparked a memory. Oh, and now I'm formulating my next great answer. We never hear what they have to say. And so I think proactive listening is about listening to the point where if I needed to, I could repeat back to you verbatim what you just said to me. Something like, so when you said blank, what did you mean by that? Or when you said, did you mean this? Or tell me what you meant when you said, or when you said something, tell me more about that. I find that those sentences, those answers have become very lost in our conversation. You say, well, Mike, I'm not in an actual conversation with people online. I go, oh, I beg to differ. I've had conversations with people on comments or DMs back and forth for over an hour. We never talked in person, but we drilled down to the point where we truly understood each other's lives, what our goals were, what our aspirations are, and what we want to accomplish over the next 5 years. And I think until we listen intently, proactively listen with the purpose of what's truly at the heart of who they are, what's truly do they want to accomplish in the next few years? How can I add value to what it is they're wanting to accomplish? Then, my friends, that's when we truly start to make strategic connections. And so now, when you help people, when you serve people in that way, when you care about people in that way, here's what I find. Now, your success is as important to them as their own success. Oh my gosh, I love that Dr. Horton because he sent me this card. I want to make sure that he's successful in life because he cared enough to send me something that nobody's ever sent me. Oh, that Michael Mints, he talked to me on DMs for an hour. I want to make sure that I comment on everything he says. I want to talk him up. I want to do this. You know, what's amazing is that typically we enter into this networking thing because I want to find somebody that's going to help me be better at my business or help my business grow. When what we should be doing is I want to find people that I can help them grow so that in return, they're not passionate about making sure that I'm growing as well. I don't think we'll ever have better connections than those. And then lastly, here's what I'm talking about. Somehow on social media, these two words have kind of somehow gotten lost. Here are the two words: empathy and understanding. In fact, I find very few comments and I find very few people having conversations and dialogue on the social media platforms where there's real true empathy occurring and understanding. And here's what that looks like. Because what we want to do, I find that we love social media because it's an opportunity for me to voice my opinion, because I have one, right? Everybody has an opinion, but I'm finding that to truly connect with other people is not about us sharing our opinion. We say, well, Mike, if it's not about me sharing my opinion, what is it about? It's about us being empathetic and understanding. It's about us asking a few questions. So, Mr. Smith, when you said, do you mind if I ask what really was going on in your life at that time when that happened? Right? I know, Dr. Horton, you shared, that you've been through some illness and some stuff in your life, but what I want to know now, Dr. Horton, is what was that? What did you go through? And who was there to help you walk through it? And who prayed with you? And who encouraged you? I mean, there's so many questions we can ask when our goal, right? Our goal is to truly understand and be empathetic with people. But look, here's what's so amazing. The power in being empathetic and understanding is not what you do or how you do it. It's what you get in return as a result. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't have people lining up at my front door to be empathetic and understanding. There's no line out the door. There's not a list of people calling me every day. Hey, Mike, I just want to make sure you know I'm here. I'm being empathetic. I'm understanding. Just let me know what you got. And so when I do find people that that truly care and are empathetic about who I am and what's going on in my life and what I'm struggling with, and want to offer up honest feedback and even some places some great instruction on how I can move forward and accomplish the next thing. Those are the kind of people I want to partner with. Those are the kind of people that I not only do, I want their help in me being successful, but I want to help them be successful as well. And I sorry, sometimes I get on a roll and I just got to get it all out. But there you go. That was there you have it.
Wow, that's wonderful, Mike. And it's just easy to put in a sentence by saying that, just be that connection or be empathetic, be the understanding. But in today's space, and I always struggle, and I'm putting my hand on my heart, I'm not one of that good one doing the networking. I try my best, but when it comes to, there is always your mind, you think that what is the opportunity cost by not just the in term of monetary value, but your time as a business person, while you have 1,000 people to reach. And if you focus on those 10 or 15, how am I justifying myself saying that I am doing good in my business, because those 90 I haven't even reached there because I was so focused on this 10. What do you suggest to do this new entrepreneur who has so many things going on and they want to have a maximum of everything and not to have the fear of opportunity cost?
I think we have to be careful. There's the adage, of being a mile wide and an inch deep. Okay. I think that our return on our investment, right? Our ROI on connection is in investing in the people who are going to invest in us. I have 1,000 DMs a day. Okay. Most of them wanting to sell me something and not really interested in connecting with me. Okay. And I will tell you that 90% of my success in life, I can name them on one hand. Okay. It's the networking, it's the connections that I've made over the last 35 years of being in business, that it really boils down to 4 or 5 people that, because of them in our relationship together, created the bulk of the success I have in life. Now, does that mean that once I find one person, I stop looking? No, I'm always looking for the next potential fantastic person I can add to my life. But what I don't want to do is spend so much time networking with 1,000 people that are not going to be a return. But I also want to make sure that I carve out time for the people who are adding value to my life. I'll be honest with you. One of the things I love about LinkedIn is that I can send out a post on whatever the content is. And when it reverberates, when it means something to another person, they will reach out and say, hey, this was meaningful to me. Okay. And I say, well, hey, perfect. Let's have a conversation real quick. Let's talk real quick. So I'm not gonna say that to the 1,000 of people that responded. I'm only going to say that to the 1 or 2 that said, hey, man, what you said today, I think that too. That really resounded deep inside me. I say, hey, let's jump on and have a quick chat. Those are the people that I've met over the last 4 or 5 years that have truly changed my life. That we had a 15-minute conversation and wow, oh my gosh, they think the way that I do, they talk the way I do, their goals are the same, they're encouraging, they're positive. And those are the kind of people that I want to join with, the kind of people I want to make friends with. But those are what I call the real strategic network connections that I'm looking for.
Wow, that's a wonderful. What I'm hearing is choose the quality over quantity. Wow, that is amazing. And both Dr. Horton and Michael, you both have mentioned the same thing, that empathetic and understanding what leads to the long-term connection. And by having this long-term connection, regardless whether the customer or the potential customer is ready to buy your services or the product, but those connections will last you. Even if the person is not interested, will signpost you the another customer, and that person actually will be advocating your product and services just because the way you have connected, your values, your ethos, and that's what bring the ROI up in terms of the relationship and growth of the business. That is a
Right.
fantastic advice. I'm sure everybody is listening. I have taken down lots of notes, although, yes, Michael did mention it to do the proactive listening and listen, but I was sneaking and typing as well my notes. So let me read out the notes, what I have come across from these both amazing speakers. Obviously, what Dr. Darryl has mentioned, how important it is to connecting people, and while connecting, that will create the long-term business relationship for you. What on other side, Michael has explained to us that doing the connection, what comes in between, which is don't get confused with the followers with your connections. Yes, you might have a 10,000 followers, but not necessarily they are your connectors. So you have to be very careful that what you're thinking or getting confused with, oh, I have these many followers, I am done with my business. But no, you have still a long way to go, because the connection is someone that you really connected for your lifetime, your sustainable supply chain solution we are talking about.
Right.
Second, what Michael has mentioned, proactive listening. And yes, I was listening. I promise I listened every word of what Michael mentioned. How do you add the value to a person who talking to you? Don't worry what will be your next sentence. Don't worry what will the next good question you will be asking after this conference. No, listen every word, because that has the meaning. And when you just purely listen, you will enhance your understanding towards that words being spoken in terms of the emotions the person is delivering to you. And that was a third one, which very well Michael has mentioned about the social media. Yes, social media is a good tool to connect it. However, not just to saying hello, hi, and what you're doing in your life, but when you're seeing someone's post, do come back, do go back to them and empathetically ask them. Worry if there is something to worry about, ask them, speak to them, and more understanding, not just that 5 lines the person has put in the post, whether does there is a story behind those posts, is there?
Right.
And if there is, we should be able to know. Fantastic. Well done. Thank you so much, Dr.
That-
Darryl Holton and Michael Mint. Now, we have still 300 plus live viewer who are eagerly want to know your answers for the questions which were predefined before this session. I hope you are okay for me to ask these questions, both of you, and not necessarily you both can answer, whoever can answer, but we definitely want to hear from both of you and your viewpoint as well. So our first question is, the audience has asked, how do you define strategic networking and why it is important in today's professional landscape? Very valid question. Question to you.
I think you answer it by, is it moving me towards where I want to go? Is this relationship, is this connection, is this friendship, is this whatever you're going to call it, is it helping me move towards what I want to accomplish as far as my goals, as far as my future over the next year, 3 years, and 5 years, whether it be professionally or personally? I think what you want to do is surround yourself with people who are actually helping you move in the direction of what you want to accomplish in life.
That's wonderful. That's very good. Dr. Holton, would you like to put some lights on this? You are muted. If you can unmute, please. Yes.
I can put a bow on it.
Okay.
And that's one of the main questions that I ask. Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not moving forward, what are you doing? You can't have a business if you're not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I always look for people that you know, I always say you don't have to have all the answers,
Mhm.
but you have to be curious.
Hmm.
That is
Good word.
very well said. Likewise, and I think one of the session when we were talking about that, how values affect our business success strategy, and one of the speaker has mentioned very well, saying that to remember when we were child, the curiosity which brought up to this level. If we can keep that curiosity, knowing people, connecting people, understanding people, I don't think so is there anything which can stop us to our growth. Very well said.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Because the bottom line is, whether we know it or not,
Mhm.
everybody has something to teach us.
Oh, yes. Lifetime learners, right? Life teaches us everything. Every person we meet, we learn from them.
True.
Exactly.
Good. That answer your question. Now there is another question has been asked. Let me ask you, what are some key tactics or approaches individuals can use to build and nurture a strategic network? I believe the audience wants to know, are there any key points or approaches to the individual? If you can give us some bullet points, quick, fast learning strategy of how to nurture the strategic network.
For me, I think it's the knowledge and understanding that everywhere I go is an opportunity for me to meet someone who's going to help me further either a personal relationship or my future. I look at every situation in life, honestly. And here's what I mean by that. One of the places I love to go and meet new people is at the grocery store. And my family hate to go with me because they know that I'm gonna start a conversation with the people in line. And I think that networking and connection is all about, am I open to and am I willing to connect with anybody in any situation? Because I will tell you that some of the most amazing people I've ever met were at the airport or in the grocery store. I'm telling you, some amazing people. And those connections were actually very, very purposeful in helping me grow personally, in helping me learn and grow in my career. So I think it's having the mindset that everywhere I go, I'm looking to connect with people. I'm looking to network with people, not just I got blinders on, and because I'm not actually working and growing my business today. I'm just resting today. Look, everywhere we are in life is an opportunity to meet what I think is the next person that's going to further our career. I believe this. We're one connection away from our next success in life, whether it's at the grocery store, at our concert, or at the airport. So that's would be my answer.
Wow, that's a wonderful answer. Dr. Horton, it's your turn.
Well, I can put a bow on that one too.
Yes.
And like I was saying earlier, the bottom line, to whether it's business or personal, we are all people.
Mhm.
So one of the main questions that I ask everybody, and believe it or not, they don't know how to answer it, is tell me about you. Don't tell me about your business. I already know about your business. Tell me about you.
Wow. That's very
Most people
powerful.
can't. Most people can't answer that question because they relate who they are to what they do.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Two
Especially
different
in a day and age, where we want to talk about business to business or business to, it's B2B or B2C. What kind of business are you in? And when we actually realize that we're in the human to human business, I don't care what business you're in today, if you're not human to human, you're not being successful, because even in the largest corporations, they now understand that if we're not getting down and being human to human with our customers, they're not going to want to do business with us anymore. So I think I agree with you completely, sir. I think it's that, are we showing that we care on a human to human level?
Exactly. And I relate it, I've been in the restaurant business for over 40 years. So I relate most everything to that. I tell people are not going to, people don't pay $4.50 for a cup of coffee
Hmm.
when they can go to McDonald's and get it for 99 cents.
Right.
That's so
Just
true.
have a cup of coffee.
Yes. That's wonderful. So sorry, but we have a very limited time, and I have one more question to ask you. But before that, I want to let audience know that don't go anywhere. The question was asked to both our speakers was share some approaches or the key tactics to use the build, nourish, nurture a strategy network, and we got a wonderful answer. Both speakers has echoed the same thing, that remember, be willing to connect anytime, anywhere. And that is what we are looking for, that you don't go with a mindset of thinking that this is a place where I'm going to go connect to the people and sell my business. No, you don't know. Unconsciously live the life fully. And when you live your life with yourself, presence of the time, the time which is going on now, and if you be present there, you can actually create an opportunity to anytime, anywhere to grow your business. And very nicely, Michael has mentioned it, that we remember one thing, we are always one connection away from our success, from our growth, from our business, maybe from our new next $1 million to make it, or pound or euro or rupees, whichever world you are. But that one connection, you are saying hello to someone who is passing by, and you don't know that person might be your next customer. So have an empathy while talking to people and follow your heart. So the third question we have for our speakers, which is very important, and I personally want to know, I don't know about you guys, but I would like to know. So the question to both of you is, can you share a real life experience of your professional success or any career goals you have achieved that came due to the successful networking?
Sure. I will tell you that the job that I've had now for over 25 years was because of a connection that I made that was only 1 week old when he introduced me to the person who then I went on to work for 25 years. And that's when I say you're one connection away from meeting someone who's going to connect you with someone that's going to change your life forever. I'm telling you, that happens to me all the time. The same happened for my wife of 47 years. I met someone at a college who then introduced me to my wife, and now we've been married for 47. I'm telling you, you literally are one connection away from your next success in life or your next most amazing relationship, right? So that's yeah, that would be for me.
Oh boy, can I really end this on a bang? For me, and I tell people this every day, I rebuilt my entire life sending cards, the entire thing. I am partnered in a restaurant because I sent somebody a card, period. Period. That's it. I sent somebody a card. I met the owner, Chatbridge and Engage Pro, and I didn't know him from Adam. I went to a networking meeting and he walked up to me. At this point, I was still in my full body brace from my surgery. And he told me, whenever you get ready to do whatever it is you're going to do, we're going to help you.
Mm.
And he's been by my side for the last 6 years.
Wow, great story.
Wow, that's so wonderful, Dr. Horton. Sometimes it is very difficult to justify certain things because not immediate you get the benefit. And I'm so pleased to hear that even in today's world where we are fast paced, AI has kicked in, lots of noises around us. And midst of all this thing, the one act of kindness can pay you back anywhere, and not with having that mentality or the mindset of getting the reward back from that kindness. I'm sure when you send that card, you just wanted them to feel good about this, right?
I was just reconnecting because we had worked together 12 years before.
Wow, okay. That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and the next thing I know, we're building a restaurant.
Brilliant. Oh my God, this is the biggest real-time experience, Michael, you have shared, and Dr. Horton, saying that how actually by connecting, not knowing that this is going to turn out in the fruitful to your business or your personal life or lifetime. Especially when we see that we have so many friends in our life, we WhatsApp, and the technology has made it so easier to connect the people. Or is it really that connections we are looking for in the business? That's a thought for your mind to find out now. The people who are listening us, it's more than 200 people still watching us live, and it's amazing. Today's session was great. I have taken down lots of notes, so I'm going to repeat my notes, and please do take down the notes if you have not taken the notes. That strategic networking is not just connecting with the people and then selling your product. It is something sustainable connections which will lifelong, regardless the person is your immediate customer or the potential customer or never be a customer. Because remember, once you create a strategic network with individual, with a human, that person will be your advocate to the business. Because once you connect with, you know, soul to soul person, your ethos, your values, your journey you come from, that story actually sells itself your business, your services, your product. And yes, I am very big fan of networking and connecting, but this is the first time I come across that where people act of kindness can also result in a sustainable connections, as the Dr. Horton has mentioned it to us. Being a proactive listener is very important. Try to listen word by word. Social media is very good, but don't confuse with your followers to the connection. There is an empathetic and listening reading. When you're reading anyone post in the social media, try to go beyond it and connect the person and go behind the story of the person who is writing it. There is always a networking anywhere, whether it's a grocery shop or the airport, as Michael has mentioned it to us. Yes, and it is true. I have connected people. The whole business I have set up, which is my transport and logistic, one of the business, was the only reason I set up, because I used to go and drop my daughter to the school every single day, given up my career, where those parents were standing there and dropping their kids. That 2 minutes of the time has connected us and helped me to create this business of transport, the first minibus transport, door-to-door school bus service. And today's day, I have the 7 to 8 school bus services, plus we do UK and Europe tours. So you never know that one small conversation, the connection, can help you to build your multi-million business in the next era or the next moment. So thank you so much. We are time up today. However, don't forget that tomorrow we are not there, but the next week, very last session of the business success strategies. And the last session we are talking about is the leadership excellence. You're going to learn in that episode is how to inspire your team towards the success. Don't forget, it is very, very important. Doesn't matter whether you are a small business owner or your multi-million business turnover. So next Thursday, which is the 9th of May, same time, leadership excellence. We have 3 speakers for the next week. See you, Nara, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to catch our next session live on 9th May 2024.